Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your boy Keena Higgins. You can always call me Higgs for short. And you know how I like to bring y'all some special guests around the way. And 2026 is no different. And so I have a very special, very beautiful, very talented actress that is joining us today. Please welcome Amber Shana Williams.
Hey, Higgs.
What's going on?
So
How's
good to
everything?
see
I'm
you.
so excited to speak with you. Um, I've just been like kind of looking up like just everything that y'all have got going with the chosen and being in season five, and then y'all have these spin-offs and all these like plans, and it's just like and then I love just even your trajectory because you've been kind of with it from the beginning almost.
Yeah.
Talk to me just a little bit about like just where you guys are in this particular part of like the show and like the development and just what is it like for you to go from recurring to starring co-starring to now you're like a series regular, like you're amazing.
You're so sweet. Thank you. Well, none of it is expected or was expected, especially the position that I find myself in now. When I got the audition for this, I had actually just moved to Spain and I was like really nearly about to quit. And it was just at that point in time, it was a guest star, and they said maybe you'll pop back up in another episode, maybe. And I think that was the intention for the role because Dallas has said it before. But I came in, did my job, I left. I was just happy to be there. I'm just happy to be here.
That
I
part.
wasn't expecting anything out of it. But then when we finally got the funding, because it was completely donation based back in the day, we finally got the funding for season two, and I got the call. They were like, "We wanted to welcome you to the team. Welcome." And I didn't know what that meant. And my agent at the time was like, "Don't read too much into that. That just means you have another episode you're in." And I got there and they really welcomed me as if I was like, I mean, and then here we are, 7 seasons in. We're about to start filming the seventh season, and Tamar has become one of the titular characters representing the women who supported Jesus during his ministry.
Yeah, and talk to me just a little bit about channeling Tamar because with everything, just the way she dresses, the way she presents herself, there's a real like energy where you feel so inspired by this character, and it primarily starts with your acting and the way you convey that persona. So what is it like kind of and going from season to season and getting more involved into this dynamic character?
I always thought of her and her regality. Like she's so like I before I get started, I'm going to tell you a quick anecdote. When my first day on set,
Mhm.
um, Dallas is a little awkward when he's making like small talk. It's not his forte, and so he comes over to me. He stands there and he's like, "You have really good posture," and I was like, "Oh, well, thank you." And he goes, "Yeah, it's very, you know." Very, very good. And I said, yeah, and this outfit makes me feel like I feel like a princess because I have like this all of this stuff on, the accoutrement and whatnot. And he goes, yeah, 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 but you're not. And I was like, okay. But then we see in season three that they wrote her in as being a princess. So it was just a really cool full circle moment because what I noticed as I played her over these years for so many seasons that and also my castmates as well, I don't want to leave them out, is that now I can't tell them apart. Like, am I bleeding into Tamar bleeding into me? And that goes across the board for a lot of them. A lot of them really do act like their characters. And it's been humbling of an experience for me because, like I told you before, I came into this with no expectations. I didn't think I was going to sit around, I mean, still be around or sit around waiting for another opportunity also. Um, Especially not what it meant once it came out, what it meant to people who look like me. So that's also one of the reasons that I connect so well to her and I advocate for Tamar because she represents us. She represents so many people and one human being. She is a Black woman in a
Mhm.
place where there aren't too many faces that look like her. She's a foreigner. She's from another country. She speaks another language. She's alone. She has no family. She has no partner, which pretty much back in that day means you are useless. What value do you have if you don't have a
Mhm.
man?
Mhm.
And she doesn't let any of those things hold her back from whatever she has her mind on, and in this case, it's on Jesus. You don't see too many business women out there, and she was like, I got the acuity for all of this. She's like doing it. Um, but we see also that once she decides to be a follower of Jesus, she becomes her lesson or her mission at this point becomes, how can it be useful?
Mm,
And we see that sometimes in an effort to be useful, that we can rub people the wrong way, especially when we're trying to be perfect in our usefulness, which is
absolutely.
what she tried to do. But one of the things I love that they put into the scene on episode 6, season 3, was that Tamar not only carries so much and not looks like where she came from,
Mm,
which is a lot of us do that. We don't look like what we've been through.
the
She
culture.
yes, she also doesn't let things go unsaid. She does
Mhm,
not leave things unsaid. If she feels it, she speaks it. If it's uncomfortable in a room and you and me are in there and something's in the air, there's tension, she's not going to let that stay there. Like, and it shows how much she values her relationships and the efforts that she puts into it. And I just noticed that growth over the years and how she's become such a staple character when it comes to clarity
mm.
and a lesson in faithfulness, and which has taught me a lot of things. So like even now when I pray, I'm like, I need discernment because I feel like you're talking to me, but I don't know what you're
Gotta channel
saying.
my Tamar.
What's happening? Because I need help here. I'm and, and so just it being a lesson in discernment. And gosh, she's such a role model, which comes with its own responsibility when people are looking to you as one of the only characters that they can relate to.
Yeah, and there's so many people looking at you. Like I'm looking at the numbers, and I saw a figure that said like 200 something in the upwards of the 200 millions, and I feel like that's being modest. And one of the more shocking stats that I saw was that a third of that number are from people who aren't even religious. So how do
Mhm.
you even talk to that? Like, how is it that you are, because you would understand that people who consider themselves Christians or go to church, like this is like their bread and butter. But to think that a third of your audience are people who don't even consider themselves religious, like how does that even like resonate with you?
Well, what it does is it kind of actually validates what we're doing. Not that it
Mhm,
needed it, um, in a way that shows that this show is good art
mhm,
and that this show is good cinema and
mhm,
that people want to watch it because not only is it great cinematography, great acting, but it's just the way that this story is told is so much more relatable. Even if you're not a person of faith, it still
mhm,
speaks to you as a human being. And that was the goal, I believe, in writing, is to write people and not sanctified ethereal, unattainably high characters,
mm,
because usually, you think of Simon Peter, you think of The Rock, you forget he was a brother. He was somebody's brother. How do brothers act when they're around each other? Do you know what I
mm,
mean?
mm, mm,
When you think of Mary Magdalene, you think of a faithful follower of Christ. Well, now we see Mary Magdalene has flaws. She falls back into her old ways. She's not above error, and we get to see Jesus brush his teeth and make jokes, and like it makes it like, oh no, no. I always thought religion was this
mhm,
monolith of perfection that I could not reach, and so I didn't even bother to even try, because how can you try to reach perfection? It's impossible. And now you're like, no, I can just relate to this story. I can relate to people who are just trying to get to tomorrow. I can relate to people who are trying to pay their taxes. I can relate to people who are not getting along with their spouse,
that part.
um, and all of these things, miscarriage, all of these things we've seen playing out, infidelity, we've seen it play out in this show. And so people can grasp on and connect to that. Yes, it speaks to faith-based audience, Christians, because I think for our Christian audience, it also is just kind of like a representation that makes them feel more at home. Like now it makes sense why people would follow Jesus, because why would they follow someone that speaks like this and
Mm,
does not animate their soul? You know, he was a kind, thoughtful, amazing human being who thought about the little people. And it's just like, oh, wait, no, no, okay, now I get it. Now I get why we love and follow Jesus. It's because this is who he is. And I feel like this is one of the only shows that really paints him in this image. I always say, and some people get a little salty, get a little
Yeah.
intense.
Talk
They're
your
like,
talk.
I remember that in the Bible. And I'm like, look, we're not making up stuff, but they're trying to fill in the blanks. I always picture the Bible, and I've said this before, as a beautifully illustrated um like coloring book. You
Mhm.
see, you see everything. You see the shapes, you see the forms, you know what it is, you can identify it you from heart. And the chosen went and said, let's add some color. We know water's blue. We're going to paint that blue, but what shade of blue?
Mm.
Is it cyan? Is it navy? Is it aquamarine? And they're like,
Mm.
let's what makes the most sense for this shade of blue. And so they do their best. They do a lot of research and put a lot of respect into making things as authentic as possible. Which once again is why so many people from so many walks of life, older, young, lots of kids too, which is what something I
Mhm.
wasn't expecting. It's like not just Gen Z, but like Gen Alpha, like the babies, they like the show. And that's also just one of the reasons why.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting because, when you are going off of media or a work that has existed for so long, telling a story that someone has probably read time and time again, it's like, how do you get that to the screen without losing much of the we've heard it all before? And so maybe talk a little bit about that. Like how, like I feel like you guys do it amazingly, but like I think with like how do you do it? Like how do you approach like season to season and telling these different stories of Jesus Christ?
Well, I mean, a lot of it really is the writing that comes right off of the page. There's times where we're just reading the scene and we're
Mm,
crying.
mm,
And because we can relate, that's how I felt when I did the Glorify collaboration that the Chosen is doing with the Glorify app. Is like there comes a time when you are in a moment that reads directly to you, and it feels like nobody else in this world, that message wasn't for them. It was just for me.
mm,
And so what that means is that we've connected to something on a human level, on a molecular level. Generally, it's often unexpected. We don't expect to be moved or touched by art this way, especially when it comes to the chosen being falling into that kind of category of historical drama. We see everything so serious all the time, and mind you, there are serious topics. But
mhm,
like I was saying before, we're getting to see these topics being discussed in a relatable, authentic way that brings understanding.
mm,
Because I think that when you cannot understand and you cannot, if you cannot understand, you cannot relate. And I think that's a failure that we often have in humanity as a society too. It's just like, well, I've never been through that. I have no idea about that, so I can't relate to that. That's not my problem. It's yours.
mhm,
But here it's like, no, I can relate on a human level of what that would feel like. And so for us as actors, when we get something, and especially when it's our character and we've grown to this point where we understand them, like like we understand them more than anyone
mhm.
at this point,
It's
even
a
more than
part
the
of you,
writers, it
yeah.
feels like. Yeah. It's like we've been them for so long that there are moments even now where I'll read something about her and I'll be like, I don't know if she would do that. Because no matter how great the show is, it's still three white men writing it.
Mhm,
And
mhm,
as brilliant as they are, and as much research as they do, and they do also consult, I'm still going to be able to tell a story more authentically as a Black woman about my
mhm,
experience. And so if there's something in there that's like, I as a me,
mhm, mhm,
I'm not
mhm.
quite sure it would have played out that way. Can I say how I think? And a lot of times, which is one thing I really love about Dallas, who's the showrunner, he'll be like, "All right, well, what are you
Let's
thinking? Tell
hear
me
it
what you're
out.
thinking." And he'll be like, well, we can try, but if it doesn't work, do it how I said. So I had a wonderful opportunity to do that this past season, where as a foreigner, I was like, I don't think that this conversation would have been had this way. Could we change the way we have this conversation? And he wasn't too sure about it, but he had faith because he was very trusting in me, which I appreciate because working with him is what gave me this confidence to be able to be so bold to bring up stuff like this.
Mhm,
And he allowed us to do it, and he was very proud of the work. And that would have never happened if I did not advocate for this woman and who she is and who she represents to so many, and to give her an authentic representation of people who are just like that.
I love
And
that.
it felt good. And I felt proud because there's so much responsibility I have on my shoulders that I didn't realize previously or when I took the job, that if I'm representing a lot of people who never felt represented in the context of these stories. And
Yeah.
also the fact that they're not characters, that they're actually human beings.
That part. It gives it a bit more of a responsibility. And I feel like y'all uphold that amazingly. But I think there was something that you brought up that I found very, very interesting.
What I bring up?
Talk to me a little bit about this glorified app that y'all got going, and the partnership that's going on. Because I feel like get it like I feel like we're with the in the world of AI and the world of digital space, or wherever we're going, it always is a added bonus when you can get ahead of that digital curve.
Yeah.
And based on what I'm reading, I just really think it's such a genius idea. So talk to a little bit of people about what y'all got going on with this.
Yeah, no, Glorify is a devotional app, like daily devotional app. And what I loved about it so much is that it kind of meets you where you're at. Do you know sometimes when you start committing yourself to something, especially when it comes to like reading the Bible or devotionals, it can be overwhelming because you're like, oh, it's so much to know, it's so much to learn. But it's like it's designed in a way that makes it easier to kind of connect with God and to pray. And whether you got just a few minutes or you have 50 hours, and
Hmm.
you're like, you got your whole weekend free. Like there's something for everyone there. And I'm like super happy. I'm also really excited that I got to do it. I saw my friends have done it before.
Hmm.
And so, which gave me like a little more trust
Like,
to
you can
participate.
do it.
Yeah, it does. Cause it's, how kind of you have to make sure somebody vets something first.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like
yeah.
the first pancake. Is it good? Okay, okay, no, it's good. It's good. And so I saw the first pancake and I was like, okay, the first pancake is good. And I immediately found myself, even when I was there, I was just like, it was still kind of a collaboration. Like it almost felt like I was going to work. It was a job until it wasn't. I was in the middle of doing one of the daily devotionals about suffering and silence. And to go back to what I was telling you earlier about not looking like what we've been through,
Hmm.
I'm in there, got hair done, makeup on, outfit together, looking nothing like what I have been going through the past couple of years until I read this particular one about suffering and immediately lost it in the booth. I kept trying to apologize, but I was just crying my eyes out because I'm like, this is me, and it felt so lonely and isolating, and the burden was so heavy, and just reading the words. I was in the middle of reading the sentence, they were recording me, and I
Hmm.
just broke down in tears. And I'm like, people need this because even though we as individuals, all of us, we're all unique, we're all
Hmm.
special, we're all unique, but nothing we go through is unique. Someone has been through that before and has survived it. And this was an opportunity to connect to those people who feel isolated, and as if what they are going through is all they'll ever go through for the rest of their life, and that they'll be the only ones there holding their own hand trying to get through it. And it's you're lost, you're confused, you don't know where to turn, and sometimes you're angry at God when you're in this position. But I love that Glorify touched on that, and also reminded us that there is peace and stillness, because I think a lot of us, we're moving, we're hustling, we have to make money, we have to make connections, we need to be always doing something, we can't stop, we got to keep going, because if we don't keep going, we're not productive. If we're not productive, we're not useful. If we're not useful, we mean nothing. And it's just
Talk
like,
it.
rest, be still. There is honor, there is peace, and there is purpose in waiting and suffering. Um, Not necessarily at the same time, but sometimes at the same time. You know what I mean? But it just allows you that moment to reconnect. Because often I think we pray a lot when we are going through things. We pray more, and sometimes we forget to still make time when things are going well. And this allows us to make time when things are going well, and the pressure is off to do it, like I said, for 15 hours. You can just come in and I just need a couple minutes to breathe it in, get a message, get a word, and then go about, you have a little recharge in your battery to go throughout your day.
I love that. Listen, you have given me a lot to like just take in. I have a lot to catch up on the children because I gotta tell you, I'm gonna binge. I'm sorry. Yeah,
You should be okay. Wait, hold
I
on.
think like listen, I because I listen, I think I'm gonna become a part of that third because this isn't necessarily where I would go for cinema, but
Hmm.
I think that this is some you have something special, and with everything that's going on as you guys have these new deals with Amazon and the new seasons and so much material, it's
Yeah,
just like I really hope to see like more of this in the future. So like what for people who are on this place of getting started at the chosen and just getting on, what's the one thing you want to leave them with to like get started with and understand about the show, particularly as they come into it and
yeah,
understand it as this dynamic work of art?
yeah. I would just encourage them to go in it with no expectations. As someone who grew up in the church, it was easy to leave because
Talk it.
it was because I just felt like I just couldn't do it right when it needed to be done, and I felt like it wasn't a safe place to express myself or be myself when I was younger. And I think a lot of that carries into that sentiment a lot of people carry now. It's just like, no, I've been hurt by religion. And I can say that when I did this show, um, I was like far away. I'm like, I believe in God, but like, I don't know if you believe in me.
Mhm.
And I did this audition and I got booked on this role. And before I booked it, I watched the episodes because they were out on like YouTube at the time, and I was like, oh, 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 this is good. I thought it was gonna be like those faith-based where everyone's kind of like, it's preachy and robotic. I was like, this is really good. The acting is good. Like I said, the cinematography was good. It was something I would
The
want to keep
fashion.
watching. I
Man,
can't
if we
take
had
credit for
time,
all
I think we
that.
could go into a whole tangent about the
We
fashion,
really
but
that'd be a
please,
whole day. That's
oh,
all
please
wardrobe.
continue.
They're brilliant. But I did the show, and over the years, while we're going through our up and downs, me personally, I started to feel the love that everyone else had for the show in a way that I hadn't before, and their faith and their steadfastness, and it started to inspire me. Like maybe, you know, the pressure's not there, but it's just like I can have a conversation again, like with God, but also as people who just like it as art. It's just like it feels warm. And a lot of what we consume now is kind of traumatizing. 10 seconds into the show, somebody get the head cut off, and then her brother is with his wife, and they done had 10 kids, but he doesn't. It's like, okay, war, 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 fighting, 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 destruction, destruction. And it's just like, I can't even finish an episode. It's good, it's good, but it's a lot. And then you get to the chosen, it's just like, like I can take a deep breath. I can cry, and it's not crying just for the sake of crying and
Therapy.
cathartic. Yeah, it's cathartic. It's like I feel seen, and that's a whole nother level of connection that people need. And so as a human being, no matter where you stand in life, you watch this show and you will feel seen. And when you feel seen, you'll feel like you belong. And when you feel like you belong, you feel like you have purpose. And I think that that's the message I want them to take from this. And I think it's really similar with what I did with Glorify. It's just like ordinary people can do extraordinary things. And sitting with that in peace, and not having expectations or having to reach some goal that you created. We get upset about goals recreated. Change the goal. Do you know what I mean? Um, Change it. Meet yourself where you're at, and hopefully they can come in and just watch it, get cinema. Have a great time, laugh, cry a little bit, and maybe call a loved one afterwards, and tell them that you love them, and or apologize, or hug your mom. Do you know what I mean? I think that's going to be the human nature that we can get from the show, and that people who are in that third category can get from the show.
Listen, Amber, this has been an amazing conversation. Can't wait to share it. Can't wait to catch up on the show, and just can't wait to see everything that you got going in store. So,
Thank you.
you have
Thank
a
you.
fan and a family here at Black America Web.
You're so
So,
sweet. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And make sure you don't binge season 5 because that one's rough.
uh,
Take
all
that a
right,
day at a time.
all right. See, look at this woman. Come on now. Give us the spoiler waters and everything. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Till next time.